Another thing on Facebook that said the son of a vape shop owner was apparently told to write an assignment for school listing 5 reasons why vaping should be banned. This was a school assignment to this son of a vape shop owner. He's 15 years old. His teacher told him to write a paper listing 5 reasons why vaping should be banned. Instead, he submitted 240 pages of scientific information and stories from adults who found them helpful in quitting. He got an F on the project, and his mom was told to take it up with the school board. The American Vaping Association, the AVA, is going to give this young man a $1,000 college scholarship. It's not much, but his willingness to fight means he deserves something. That blew my mind. That means there is a high school somewhere, and I don't know exactly where this is, but there's a high school somewhere where the curriculum for learning is to write a paper listing 5 reasons why vaping should be banned. But oh my God, does that not blow your mind? That just blows my mind hole. Anyway, the guy's mom, Alicia, also posted on Facebook and said, "Help needed, please. My 15-year-old son has a health class assignment on e-cigarettes. He's to design a logo and give 2 examples of why they are harmful for you." They've also stated that the e-cigarette market is targeted for sales to teens and asked them to talk to their parents about stopping use of them. They're also to list 5 reasons why vaping should be banned. I'm absolutely livid about this. As much as I don't want him to participate in this, it could affect his GPA. So as members of the community, I'm reaching out to you, my fellow vapors. I need tactfully written letters from all of you about the benefits of vaping and how it has bettered your life. I'm begging and pleading for all of you to participate. Email this to me. I will be printing them out and having him turn them in for his assignment. This is the best possible way that they could have handled this situation. I think they handled it amazingly. I think Alicia, I believe your name is Alicia, that was a good plan. You and your son handled this really, really well. I cannot believe that there is a high school curriculum out there asking their students to list 5 reasons why vaping should be banned. And you can probably easily make the assumption that this boy, this 15-year-old guy, was maybe one of the only people in the class who was on the other side of the card, who was actually against the assignment, who was actually pro vaping. I would love to know what the other students handed in. That's what I would be interested to read. I would be interested to read that information. What did the other students say? What 5 reasons did they come up with? Were there any other students who were against this? Unbelievable. I mean, that is unfucking believable. It's almost enough to make you rage. That is ridiculous. Thank you, Gregory Connolly, for posting that. And thank you, Alicia. I believe your name is Alicia. And your son, Derek. Absolutely, you guys handled it so well. Just class all around. 240 pages of scientific information and stories from adults who found them helpful in quitting. I couldn't think of a better way to handle that unbelievably ridiculous assignment. That's insane. Anyway.
If you want to really achieve the goal that most teachers set out to do when they start as teachers, which is to really be part of the process of human enlightenment, human emancipation, love of learning, that awakening that happens with people, which is the reason why a lot of us get into teaching. But if we really want to do that, we have to be involved in struggles for economic justice and to change the economic priorities of this system and to change the economic system as a whole. Because so many of us teachers spend so much time in frustration moving into the classrooms to empower our students. And within the context in which we're teaching, it's nearly an impossible task. To give an example of what some of the things we can do to be empowering, I was just talking to Rafael Feliciano Hernandez from the Puerto Rican Teachers Association, So everyone knows that there was a big student university strike in 2009, 2010 in Puerto Rico. He pointed out to me that most of the students who were involved in that strike were their students when the teachers went on strike in the high schools in 2008. So in terms of really thinking about what could we do to empower students to fight for justice, I mean, fighting for our own justice is one of the best things that we can do to set an example.
How do you actually, as a teacher in a classroom, kind of promote ideas of Marxism or to kind of begin to fight for those changes? I think, part of it is that particularly at a high school level or an elementary school level, you have to be careful, because your job, they want you to stick to fairly narrow things, and that can be very frustrating. But I do think that wherever you possibly can, part of it is actually just allowing for room for critical thought in the classroom and allowing for students to think for themselves, to talk about issues wherever possible, to bring in history and radicals and people from the past and fight for that kind of thing. And I think there is space to do that, even if there's limitations on it, that we have to do to try to provide that room in our classrooms. I think radicals and socialists have a particular role to play in kind of fighting for that type of education and bring it wherever possible. But I also think that it's extremely important as a teacher for me to think that it's not just what I do in the classroom, it's about the future of my students as thinkers, as actors, etc., but it's actually what I do outside of the classroom that's even more important. It's organizing the teachers, it's organizing parents, and working together to actually fight for an entirely different kind of educational system and for a world where my students aren't confined to the job at McDonald's, but can actually learn and want to learn because it matters to them. So there'll be a way for them to decide for themselves what their world looks like and what they want to do in it, and that's the kind of, and I think that we have to be able to do both of those things, fight for that kind of world for complete transformation.
When we are smoke free. We don't want to be in the ashtray of the Midwest, so we are going to be smoke free. They say we should be happy with whatever the Tavern League offers, but that's not the glass half full, it's not even the ashtray half empty. Dear legislator, Wisconsin needs to be smoke free. Let them hear you at the Capitol. Smoke free, smoke free, smoke free, smoke free, smoke free. As the banner says behind me, it's time. We all deserve the right to breathe free. Smoke free, smoke free. Thank you.
The hearts and minds of people in Washington, D.C., and in particular our young people. They are saturated in the media and in entertainment, or by the entertainment industry, with violence. And I think too many of our young people, in particular our young men, are fascinated with violence and in particular fascinated with guns. And what we need to do is change the way in which people think about guns, especially young people, and make it something that's not cool, that it's not acceptable, it's not hip to carry a gun anymore. In the way in which we've changed our attitudes about cigarettes. When I was growing up, people smoked all the time. I mean, both my parents did. But over time, we changed the way in which people thought about smoking, and so now we have people who cower outside of buildings and kind of smoke in private and don't want to admit it. And that's what I think we need to do with guns, really change the way in which people think about guns. Now, this is not going to be something that's very easy to do because we are, quite frankly, fighting something that appears, every day on television, on the radio, in our popular music, in movies that these kids are exposed to. It will be an effort that will entail things that I'm really not familiar with. I think I'm a pretty good lawyer, but we need to get really innovative, creative things that are going to grab the attention of these kids and change, as I said, the way in which they think about guns. And so what I've asked is that the creative community in Washington, those ad agencies that create these snappy ads and make me buy things that I don't really need, devote that talent in a more constructive way so we can get at the minds of these young people. This informational campaign, I've also called on the newspapers and the television stations to devote to us time and space so that we can get these ads, so we can use these spots, and not to give us 1, 2 o'clock in the morning ads when nobody's watching, but at the time when people, particularly young people, are watching television, so that when they're watching, you know, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or Martin or whatever else they watch, and yeah, I watch those things once in a while, so that they'll see these ads and they'll be grabbed by these ads. I've also asked people who have influence over youngsters, entertainers, athletes, to be involved in this program as well. But not only them, community leaders, Jesse Jackson, Mayor Barry, people who have credibility with young people should be on the television, on the radio, as much as we possibly can, and telling these youngsters that it's wrong to carry a gun, and that if you have information about people who are carrying guns, you've got to share that with Chief Thomas and with his people as well. I've also asked the school board to make a part of every day some kind of anti-violence, anti-gun message. Every day, every school, at every level. One thing that I think is clear with young people and with adults as well is that we just have to be repetitive about this. It's not enough to simply have a catchy ad on a Monday and then only do it every Monday. We need to do this every day of the week and just really brainwash people into thinking about guns in a vastly different way. We also want to have a hotline that we will set up and have the number of that hotline that would just go out there, and that would be something that people would have emblazoned in their minds so that when they see a gun or become familiar about the facts of a gun crime, they would call that hotline and pass that information on.
Audrey Silk. Audrey.
Yes, thank you. I'm Audrey Silk, the founder of New York City Citizens Lobbying Against Smoker Harassment, or CLASH. We argued in 2002 that the rationale for the ban protecting non-smokers was a fraud built on junk science, a tool to control smokers not to smoke. At the October 2002 hearing, you, Mr. Equality, protested, "This bill is not designed to stop you from smoking," followed by, "If you want to smoke, that's your right, and I will defend that." To this day, on the Department of Health's website, the FAQ answer to the question, "This is America, don't citizens have a right to smoke even if it hurts them?" The answer, yes, smokers are free to continue to smoke, and primary smoking itself acceptable. Now we have you adding devices with no smoke to what's called the Smoke-Free Air Act. Though discussed secondarily, there's ultimately not one written word about exposure contained in the bill under legislative intent. All 4 officially documented reasons are that smoking is indefensible and unacceptable, that even the thought of it must be censored, and intends to codify that intolerance into an act we were told was not designed to do that. It's really been no secret that you'd lied earlier, but there's surely you can keep your health insurance period moment. With the addition of E6 to the act, we have the most concrete proof that it's never been about the smoke. It's about hating someone else's choice and the imposition of dear leader's religion on everyone else. In order to denormalize not just smoking, but people who smoke, help by once calling yourself superior as a reformed smoker and calling smokers crazy and stupid, you've had to denormalize civil liberties. You have shown nothing but disrespect and contempt for not just the choice to smoke, but for individual decision-making itself. This is legal private life, not public health. You don't own me like state property. Today in the building, my taxes equally fund, and as a final image in your reign that couldn't be more antithetical to the legacy you desperately want depicted, I return the respect. Good people disobey bad laws.
Okay. Audrey. Okay, thank you. We just don't permit smoking in the public buildings, so appreciate your comments. Would anybody else like to add anything?
I'd like to see over
Okay.
smoking. I'd like the press
Okay.
to understand that over lighting
Right.
a cigarette that millions of people have done, I was kind of
Okay.
mauled.
I think it's time to leave. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So long.
12 years is enough.
No, that's all right.
Yeah, since when has it become a problem to have some fun? Breaking some law by drinking a beer, just minding my business, you ain't got nothing to fear. never felt kindly towards some busybody giving me a load of crap about something or other they don't like that I've done.
They use the children. Children shouldn't see adults engaging in illegal activity so they don't think it's the right thing to do. They have to denormalize it. Well, in order to denormalize a otherwise legal activity, they've had to denormalize the meaning of civil liberties. Parents are the ones who need to teach the kids these lessons if that's the lesson they want to teach. How soon until you can't go to Coney Island and buy a bag of cotton candy, which is nothing but a bag of sugar, because the children will get the wrong idea? This is not about smoking anymore, really. It's about civil liberties.
Leave me alone to go astray. It ain't your damn business, by the way. We ain't taking care of me, as far as I can see. Keep your distance, I'm a man. Let me be, for good or bad. Thought this was a home of the brave. Leave me alone, just go away.
We can do this. We can take this country back.
This is the latest YouTube ad from Herman Cain. If you can explain to me what happens in the last 15 seconds of this spot, I'll buy lunch at Godfather's Pizza for a week.
Republican candidate Herman Cain has a new campaign ad out that a lot of people are talking about because it's really quite odd at the end. It's so weird. Why does he do that?
Who came out recently with an ad that is, we call it the smoking ad, and it's gotten a lot of play all over the media. We played it last night on this program, and frankly, I can't figure out the ad.
I saw a campaign commercial today for Herman Cain. Somebody's going to have to take me through this. Somebody's going to have to walk me through this.
Today, I am announcing that I am running for President of the United States of America. We can turn this country around. Our children and our grandchildren will know greater success and greater opportunity. The sleeping giant, we the people, have awakened. We will make America great again. Of the people, by the people, and for the people. The Founding Fathers did their job when they created the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. Let us do our job as the defending fathers of these great documents. Let us remind the world that our rights do not come from a man, nor a committee, nor a czar. But from our Creator. We will preserve and protect these rights for our children and our grandchildren. We will preserve and assure that these United States of America, the greatest nation the planet has ever seen, will not compromise her legacy.
America is under attack by a runaway fascistic government that little by little, bit by bit, is stripping you of every conceivable freedom. And the sheeple are clueless. It's like the proverbial frog in a pan of water whose heat is turned up slowly. Before you know it, and when it's too late, it's boiling. Smoking bans give us a group that we can legally hate. Go ahead, push them around. We hate smokers.
My name is Gail Brewer. I'm a city council member for the west side of Manhattan. When your health is at stake and the public health is at stake, it makes sense to have Big Brother. Not everybody agrees with me.
He said he would sign a bill that banned smoking nationwide. So much for federalism, so much for states' rights, so much for individual rights.
And fat people? Oh, you're next. Mark my words, people will start to look at you like the smoker. You fat slob, unable to control something as simple as eating, and we've got to pay your health costs. You're disgusting. You're weak, you're pathetic, and you make us and you sick. There'll be fat police with fat calibers stopping you at checkpoints.
The question is, when you go out to eat at a place in Mississippi, if a couple of lawmakers had their way, if you were obese, however they define that, you would not be served.
New York could become the first city to ban the use of a legal ingredient found in kitchens across the country.
Proposal is on the table in New York City to ban restaurants from using any salt in their food.
It's estimated that $123 billion is spent treating ailments deriving from sugar-related products. Again, we reached this conclusion about smoking about 40 years ago. Now we have to do it for sugar.
Isn't it our own responsibility to moderate our behavior?
The personal responsibility approach is a fine place to start, but we've been doing that for 40 years now, and we're losing the battle with obesity. That's been an experiment that has failed.
Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the Founding Fathers.
I would bring a sense of humor to the White House because America is too uptight.
Hell with a doctor.
Speaking of doctors, my doc...
Dad, he's back on prune juice.
My doc sent me a note. He said stop smoking.
Yeah?
I rolled it and smoked it.
Smoked a note.
We can do this. We can take this country back.
It's a legal product. I choose to smoke. Leave me alone.
Because just want to have a good time. Shouldn't be no big crime. Think I light up a smoke. Try not to choke. Thought I had a license that they couldn't revoke. One of these days we gotta stand up strong. Start a revolution and right all the things that went wrong. Yeah, in the meantime, gonna sing my song. This is my home, so leave me alone. Leave me alone to go astray. It ain't your damn business, by the way. I was getting by just fine till you came and drew the line. I'll decide what's best for me. Keep your distance, let me be. Thought this was the home of the brave. Leave me alone, just go away. We'll all die of something someday. Leave me alone, just go
Vaping with Twisted 420 has returned. That's right, people, we are back. And today I was gonna do like a mod review or something like that. But this morning I woke up to a tag on Facebook. A tag from Ricky Deerdorf. Ricky Deerdorf, shout out to Ricky. He tagged me and Nick Green. It's this video from a page called Regulator Watch. And it's all about the vaping regs and the Trump administration. Now I know the title's a little clickbaity. I'm not gonna lie, Trump could say vaping, question mark. But that's kind of what we're talking about here to an extent. It won't just be Trump, it's all the other people and everything. Now, politics are a horrible, ugly thing. I hate that people feel the need to attach themselves to a political side. You know what I mean? It's like Bloods and Crips, but there's a lot more money involved. You know what I mean? It's fucking stupid. I don't identify as a liberal or as a conservative. Matter of fact, most liberals call me the right. Most conservatives call me the left. I don't know. I don't care for anything. I really don't care for Trump, if I'm being honest. Dude's funny. Just like George Bush. I didn't really care for his presidency, but holy shit, as a person, hilarious. And unintentionally, too. That was the greatest thing about Bush. But anyway, and we're not going to get on this big Trump thing. Oh, make America great again. Whatever. No, none of these presidents give a shit about you, okay? But there are other people behind the scenes that do give a shit about you. What I did is I went and jacked the video off Facebook, and we're going to talk about it, watch it, and talk about it. Damn it, is that order right? No, we're going to watch it, then talk about it. Anyway, let's start this up.
Repeal and replace. It's a legislative strategy best known in the context of the U.S. healthcare debate. But it also applies to vaping. With President Donald Trump now firmly in office, moves are underway to repeal the notorious FDA deeming regulations, which could wipe out up to 97% of the multi-billion-dollar vaping industry. Once repealed, the regulations would then be replaced with new legislation designed to safeguard consumers while at the same time allowing the industry to thrive. Behind the efforts are high-profile members of Congress and a group of political heavyweights with a direct line to the White House. The 2016 U.S. presidential election could prove a watershed moment for the vaping industry. The looming threat posed by the FDA deeming regulations galvanized vapers across the country. No more so than in the state of Wisconsin, where vapers delivered 125,000 votes for the incumbent, Republican Senator Ron Johnson, which proved decisive in his 97,000 vote victory over his Democratic rival. Senator Johnson, who is chairman of the powerful Senate Homeland Security Committee, explicitly thanked the vaping community for its support in the election and promised to be an advocate in Washington.
Thank you, vapers. You made tonight possible. I truly appreciate it. I will be on your side.
Senator Johnson is not the only Republican ally in the nation's capital. Congressman Duncan Hunter is as well. Both have sent letters to the Trump administration requesting repeal of the FDA deeming regulations, and each is sponsoring replacement legislation to be introduced concurrently in the Senate and in the House in the coming weeks. Better rules to govern the industry would secure tens of thousands of jobs and ensure a less harmful alternative to smoking is accessible to millions of Americans. Joining us today to discuss the backroom developments behind the repeal and replace movement is Mark Block, founder of the Electronic Vaping Coalition of America. The EVCA is a relative newcomer, but has already made a big impact. It organized Wisconsin's Vapor Vote campaign, securing Senator Johnson's re-election, and is now spearheading the Johnson-Hunter legislation. The EVCA is less advocacy group and more political operation, honed by the founder's extensive experience in national politics.
I came here to declare my candidacy for the Republican nomination for President of the United States of America.
Motherfucking Herman Cain. That motherfucker's hilarious too. He did the Pokemon song and everything. Fucking, yeah, that guy. He would have been a funny president as well. Holy shit.
Viewers may recognize Mark Block. He was Herman Cain's chief of staff in the 2012 presidential election and gained infamy as the smoking man in one of the most memorable political ads of all time.
You got the campaign manager smoking. Have you seen that? Yes. It's bizarre. Take a look at this, the Herman Cain for President campaign ad.
We need you to get involved because together we can do this. We can take this country back.
He's so sincere. He's so sincere. He got the music about America, and he's looking so cool with the fucking slow pan. He's, that's right, America. It's fucking, that just gives me the giggles. It's fucking silly.
Wow. I don't know what it is, but something about that guy just seems cool.
Mark, thanks again for joining us on the show. That 2012 ad, it's certainly memorable. Was there a message behind the smoking?
There was no subliminal messages in doing it. One of the reasons that Cain was caught on is we were just average Americans, and average Americans smoke. And hopefully, in the future, they will vape, not smoke.
That's right. Vape, not smoke. That's what I'm talking about.
Let's dive right into the vaping issue, Mark. You seem to be at the epicenter, or better put, maybe Wisconsin is at the epicenter of what looks like to be a promising effort to do away with the FDA deeming regs.
Yes, U.S. Senator Ron Johnson is from Wisconsin and chairs the Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee. My congressman is Speaker Paul Ryan. President Trump's chief of staff is Reince Priebus, also a Wisconsinite. And we kind of all grew up together in politics. It does lead right from Wisconsin into Washington, D.C.
You mentioned Senator Johnson. How solid is his support for the vaping industry?
When the senator would drive through the city of Madison and see vapors voting for Ron Johnson signs in the windows of the vape shops, he knew that he had struck a chord. He is extremely supportive of the vaping community and is working diligently to get the FDA deeming regulations repealed.
So, Mark, where does that effort stand right now? Is there new legislation ready to replace the deeming regs?
As we speak right now, the draft legislation is being done by Legislative Counsel on the House side. Congressman Hunter's staff is working with Senator Johnson's staff to make sure the groups like EVCA, Electronic Vaping Coalition of America, AIMSA, CASA, Savada, everybody had a chance to take a look at it to make sure that it does indeed replace the deeming regulations with the type of things that not only the industry can live with, but that, quite frankly, the regulations are needed, but not the onerous ones that the FDA put out.
When can we expect the legislation to drop?
I'm expecting in the next 2 weeks for that legislation to be introduced.
And Mark, what about the Cole-Bishop Amendment? How will it be affected?
While our group is supportive of the Cole-Bishop Amendment, which almost everybody knows about, we think that's a Band-Aid and it's not to fix the problem, because Cole-Bishop doesn't take vaping out of tobacco, and there's a lot of other unintended consequences. So we want a complete repeal of the deeming regulation.
Complete repeal! That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Mark, President Trump made a campaign promise to repeal onerous regulations, but I believe the fear for some is that vaping might be a low priority on his list.
No, I don't think it's low on the list, Brent. I think it's just the process that they're going through right now. Obviously, we have been able to brief some folks at the White House on this deeming regulations and why it needs to be repealed. And we're hoping that as soon as the individuals appointed at the Office of Information and Regulatory Reform within the White House as part of the Office of Management and Budget, that individual has told me personally to my face that their number one priority is the repeal of the deeming regulation.
Mark, you could honestly tell our viewers that the White House is fully aware of this issue.
Absolutely.
And the turfing of the deeming regs fits with the president's priorities?
It goes right along with the dialogue that President Trump has had with the American people. Especially, I mean, if you think about all the regulations that are out there, there is none that is almost criminal, the FDA deeming regulations.
You fucking right, it's criminal. It's stupid, too.
They get it. They know the number of jobs it has already cost. I mean, it isn't waiting for the 2 years, Brent. There are individuals that are making business decisions now. They don't know where this is going. So they're closing their doors. I get very passionate about this because I've talked, just like you have, to dozens and dozens of people that put their life savings into this, and now they don't know if they're going to lose it all.
That's no bullshit, too. I know a lot of good people have had to close their doors, and it fucking sucks. Maybe there's some good news, some good hope for people. It's not too late for some of you. It's just,
Finally, Mark, realistically, how soon could this all happen, the repeal and the replace?
I'm telling you, I think we can get this done in the next 60 days.
Oh, holy shit, 60 days? That's fucking, yeah, all right, that's pretty damn impressive. They get that, yeah, fuck, 60 days, all right, I'm with it.
I mean, I've been doing this for 42 years. I've won more than I've lost, and I'm hoping that the people watching this will understand that and will be supportive when we ask them to do something. It might be as simple as, would you pick up the phone and call your congressman and senator and tell them that you want them to support Johnson Hunter? I'm telling you, that stuff works. When you can burn up the phone lines and the emails, they listen.
Ends up all that we did wasn't in vain. That's good to know. Good to know that good old-fashioned emailing and calling in still works. Not too shabby.
Well, that's it for this edition of Reg Watch. Before you head off, please like us on Facebook and don't forget to follow us on Twitter. For RegulatorWatch.com, I'm Brent Stafford.
Well. Interesting stuff. I'd love to see what comes out of it. I was shocked to see that video this morning. And I always stay optimistic about most things in life. And I've been doing so about this. And it looks like it paid off. All right. No, but that's great news, guys. That's great news. It means our industry can live on, possibly. The things that the FDA may not get their way, those evil, corrupt sons of bitches. Big Pharma won't get their way. So this is good. This is good. And I just heard about it, so I figured I'd pop up and make a video about it. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And yes, if I found out anything from that fella about what we need to do very soon moving forward with this whole thing, I'll let you know. But I figured, you know, hey, I talk about advocacy every so often, but like, this is some meat and potatoes. This is something we get. This is something. Some things are happening. There's something happening here. And hopefully they don't end up dicking us down. Maybe good will win in this instance. Either way, I thought I'd let you guys know. In the comments, type what you feel, how you feel. Let's not try to make it a big political fucking shit slinging fest. Politics are stupid. Don't let it make you stupid. We can talk about these things civilly. Wait, civilly? Civilized? Civil. We can be civil, okay? We're all one big community. So post what you think about this whole thing in the comments. I think it's good. Anything other than nothing is good. We're hearing something, and it very well could be abolished in 60 days. It's crazy. Let's just hope whatever else they stick in there won't be as bad, which I don't think it will. The people who are working on it seems like they kind of know us, they kind of dig us, they kind of understand us. So hopefully the new regs won't be so silly. You know, like childproof caps, sure. Fucking expensive forms and all that shit, no. So yeah, folks, that's what I got for you. That's what I got. We'll get back to business as usual tomorrow. I gotta take Buddha to the vet here shortly and get some new wheels put on the Mercedes. So that'll be fun. Maybe I'll vlog that. I'll post something about it. Anyway, it'll be fun. Anyway, that's what I got for you, folks. So with that being said, thank you for watching. I truly do appreciate it. Remember, doesn't matter what the fuck you're vaping on, as long as you're not on them stinkies. Yeah, I feel even better about saying that. You know what I mean? Good things, good things. And last but not least, you stay sexy, YouTube. Me in this video about the regulations being repealed, possibly. We're out.